Eyewitness News, the Chicago area's #1 news, with John Drury, Diane Burns, Jerry Tabb, and Mark G. Greco.
Good evening. Police tonight reveal they're hunting a second suspect in the murder of a wealthy suburban businesswoman. This as investigators discover Diane Messina's missing Lexus gutted by fire. Messina was found strangled in her West Chicago home last Thursday. Tonight, police are searching for 19-year-old Michael Martin. He's a cousin of the murder suspect who killed himself while being chased by police. Channel 7's Kent Ninomiya is live with the latest. Kent?
John, investigators say the cousins apparently worked together, allegedly staking out Diane Messina's home, burglarizing it, and then allegedly killing her. And the police say those crimes appear to be premeditated. The West Chicago police believe 19-year-old Michael Martin is still in northern Illinois. He became a suspect when investigators uncovered physical evidence in his Utica, Illinois home linking him to the crime.
We recovered additional items belonging to Miss Messina that we found in his house. Mr. Martin at this time is also being sought in connection with the homicide burglary.
Investigators say Martin and his cousin William Day robbed and strangled Diane Messina, a wealthy West Chicago businesswoman. Day killed himself Sunday night when the police tried to arrest him. Messina's stolen Lexus was found last night, abandoned and set on fire in a Troy Grove cornfield. Investigators suspect Martin and Day dumped it there. Tonight, West Chicago police are again emphasizing that this was not a random crime. They say there was no sign of forced entry, and Messina may have known the people who killed her.
There is a connection, but it's one that we really can't comment on at this point. We have strong reason to believe that the offenders involved in this crime knew of the victim.
And investigators say there may be even more suspects involved in this case. Diane Messina's family is still offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to her killers. Reporting live from West Chicago, Kent Ninomiya, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Diane?
Thank you, Kent. Well, the top national story tonight, the government shutdown and no end in sight. This evening, administration officials came out of a meeting with congressional leaders and said there's no progress in breaking the deadlock. This morning, most federal employees showed up for work. Then 800,000 were told to turn around and go home. Here's the latest tonight. Despite the lockout, people who get pension, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security are getting checks. There may be an effort in the next day or so to reopen some facilities like Social Security offices and passport facilities. And essential facilities like prisons and air traffic control centers are not affected. But both sides seem to be digging in, and there's growing bitterness all around.
We have made enormous progress. We can balance the budget without doing what they seek to do. We can balance the budget without the deep cuts in education, without the deep cuts in the environment, without letting Medicare wither on the vine. It's very hard to understand how you can have an honest dialogue with somebody who refuses to admit that we increased Medicare spending. He would just increase it more.
The government's borrowing authority has run out, but the Treasury says it is taking steps to avert default. Tonight, Channel 7's Charles Thomas has more on the impact of the shutdown in Chicago.
Privately contracted cleanup crews polished Loop federal buildings tonight, even though there was scarce traffic during the day. So-called non-essential workers, an estimated 20,000 in Chicago and its suburbs, were sent home this morning as soon as they arrived at their offices.
By noon today, all employees who have been determined to be subject to furlough will be sent home from this building.
I think it's awesome, and they need to get together, because I'm sure the public is tired of it, and I know I am.
Mail delivery is not affected, and government checks, including Social Security and veterans benefits, are going out on time. Skeleton crews of 2 or 3 workers staffed each of the area's 25 Social Security field offices. They could track down a missing check, but could not perform any other service. What did you want to get done?
I could do. I need a Social Security card for my child.
And you couldn't get it today?
No. I only care price plus any applications now.
Immigration, the IRS, HUD, the EPA, all the big federal agencies were shut down. There's a growing fear tonight that unlike after past furloughs, The workers may not be paid retroactively this time.
I'm here to help my public. If I'm shut down, who's helping my public? Who's going to save their houses? That's my job. And I want all of you all to know there's somebody out there who need us. We need to be here at work.
There have been several government shutdowns like this in the past, but most happened on holidays or weekends and didn't have much impact. Federal workers fear that because next year is an election year, this one could last much longer. Reporting live from outside the Kluzinski Federal Building in the Loop, Charles Thomas, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. Diane?
Thank you, Charles. And stay with Channel 7 for the latest on the budget standoff. John?
Well, Diane, Chicago school officials reveal they've discovered more large stockpiles of equipment and supplies that they didn't know they had. They found $2 million worth of material stored in 5 locations. There is everything from lumber to power tools. No one has any idea how long the items have been lying around. Administrators say the huge stockpiles are suspicious, and they're turning the case over to the school board's inspector general for investigation. Most of the materials will be auctioned off. At a school in Lake Forest, 50 students are rushed to the hospital after complaining of nausea and headaches. It happened at the building housing the Deer Path Elementary School and Deer Path Junior High. No serious injuries, but the cause is a mystery. The fire department found no hazardous levels of substances in the air.
Well, straight ahead tonight, gambling on the internet. Our investigation reveals a surprise right here in Illinois. Also coming up, Marsha Clark talks about fellow prosecutor Christopher Darden and reports that they're headed for the altar.
Plus, Princess Diana prepares to tell all about her love life and...
circumstances would you relinquish that remote? If I was dead.
Remote Rats, a man's game. Mark Giangreco tries to find out why men are so attached to their TV remote controls. Keep it right here on 7.
Tonight, a surprising development in a Channel 7 News investigation. Now, last week, we told you about the surging popularity of gambling by home computer. Well, tonight, Channel 7 investigative reporter Chuck Dowdy has uncovered how the University of Illinois may be indirectly feeding the growing appetite for keyboard casinos.
Sports International is billed as the biggest internet gambling provider, handling $48 million a year in online sports wagers via home computers, a practice that federal investigators have called illegal. Sports International will soon allow internet wagers on casino games. Currently, the Philadelphia and Caribbean-based firm links prospective casino gamblers to these demonstrator games of blackjack and poker. Tonight, Channel 7 News has traced the computer that runs these free games right here to Illinois, the University of Illinois at Springfield. In the computer classroom here, the casino program is being run by university equipment, and thousands of would-be gamblers from around the world have been signing on to play. Computer science graduate student Michael Green designed the program and says Sports International contacted him to link it to their system.
It's just for fun. It's a game for fun. You play for points. You are not gambling. So what's the big deal?
We've looked it over, and we don't see anything improper.
Bill Rogers is assistant director of the popular computer science program. Michael Green currently takes only one class here, but has full use of the school's computers. Green's own records reveal more than 40,000 hands of blackjack dealt last month, and some players logged on from computers at Fortune 500 companies. Is it proper to have that kind of a thing on a university computer?
Well, it's a game that shows my programming capabilities. That's it.
It would be pretty absurd to tell our computer programmers that if they want to produce a game, they can only produce Candyland.
Tonight, the university has told Green to post a disclaimer on his computer program that it's not for wagering and is just a game. But by whatever name, university officials tonight admit they didn't know the blackjack and poker were being played right under their noses until we told them. And the U of I says it is developing a new policy to better control all student use of computers at all 3 of its campuses, including here in Chicago. On the Near West Side, Chuck Dowdy, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, Michael Green tonight tells us he hasn't been paid for the use of the casino program. And Sports International says the company does not plan to use Green's program once the company actually starts taking bets for money. So.
Well, get ready for airport wars again. There is late word tonight that suburban Republican Senator Aldo DeAngelis will introduce legislation tomorrow creating a regional airport authority in the Chicago area. One provision that O'Hare get no new runways until a third major airport is built. The proposal is likely to renew the heated debate between the city and the suburbs.
Also ahead, meteorologist Jerry Taft with the latest word on a warm-up here. This as a major winter storm is hitting much of the East Coast right now.
Also, what a surprised audience thought they heard Marcia Clark say about the O.J. Simpson case. Plus, remote rats, men and their TV remotes. Mark G. and Greco on what's behind the obsession. All still ahead. Simpson prosecutor Marcia Clark is speaking out tonight, her first time since the day of the Simpson verdict. She spoke at a symposium on women's confidence. At one point, she told the audience she lacked confidence in a case brought to her by police. Some thought she was referring to the Simpson case.
I reviewed the evidence, and I said, no, I don't think you have enough. I'd like some further investigation. The officers didn't like my answer, and as they're entitled to do, they went over my head. Now, they went way over my head to a superior and said they wanted him to review the evidence to see if he would override my decision. My superior pondered the matter, examined it, and decided that he would override my decision.
Later, Clark told reporters she was not referring to Simpson, but to another case 2 years earlier. And what about reports of a romantic relationship with fellow prosecutor Christopher Darden? Clark described standing in a supermarket line.
About 10 o'clock. The lady's holding the globe with the picture of us on the front, Marcia and Darden to wed, and I burst out laughing. Gave me the best laugh of the day, and the woman looked at me, it's not true.
Clark has signed a $4.2 million book contract for her story of the Simpson trial. And for those who can't get enough of the dirty laundry of the British royal family, there may be more on the way. The BBC has announced that Princess Di will do a TV interview to be broadcast next Monday. Subjects include her life, her broken marriage, and hopes for the future. The interview appears to be her response to Prince Charles' interview a year ago in which he admitted infidelity. The announcement comes on the 47th birthday of Prince Charles.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Well, heavy snow is falling tonight in the Northeast. Take a look at the giant snowflakes coming down in southwest Pennsylvania. And tonight, driving there is a real test. There have already been dozens of accidents. Roads are closed, and one major interstate has been shut down for 7 hours now. The snow has already closed hundreds of schools there, and it's expected to snow all night, and more than a foot of snow is predicted by morning.
But it can't happen here because we have Jerry Taft. And Jerry's going to tell us it's going to be warm here, or warmer anyway.
Warmer. We'll see temperatures move into the 40s, but New England really has a problem tonight. That storm continues out there. We'll tell you about that. As a matter of fact, the Binghamton Airport now just closed. Syracuse Airport just opened. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts at LaGuardia. So we've got a big storm out east. But here in the Midwest, things look a little bit better. Although the warming is slowing up a little bit, we will make it into the 40s by the weekend, but not the 50s. We had a high today of 37, 12 degrees below the normal high of 49. But if you look at high temperatures back to the west of us, it does get warmer. 66 the high temperature today in Denver. Along the East Coast where the big storm is, they had temperatures well above freezing in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia. And that kept that area mainly rain, but inland areas, that's where they had the heavy snow. And you can see this wraparound that's pulling an awful lot of moisture off the Atlantic, and that storm will continue tomorrow as it moves to the northeast. What happens is you have the Gulf Stream, so you have relatively warm water, and as it comes in, initially it falls as rain, and then when it hits the colder air at higher elevations, it falls as snow. And as I mentioned, some areas in western New York down into Pennsylvania already have 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground, and that will be continuing tonight and tomorrow. Look at the radar, and this is all snow back to the west, and they have snow now in Binghamton falling at the rate of 2 inches per hour. You also notice some precipitation around the Midwest, well away from Chicago, but we do have a few light rain showers and even some light snow showers back in western Iowa, not headed in this direction. A couple of flurries on the other side of the lake, but here we have clear skies. 25 degrees here in Chicago. It's 15 up in Madison, but you can see this warmer air back to the west, and we will get some of that by the end of the week. Currently 25 at O'Hare, 31 at the lake, 28 at Midway, 22 in Peatone, Batavia 25, the wind northwest at 7, and the humidity 68%. Now tomorrow, this storm moves a little bit to the north and east, continues to snow here. We'll watch those totals tomorrow. Some areas definitely will have more than a foot of snow out of that storm. For us, we'll see temperatures again in the 30s, but the warmer air gets a little bit closer. Variable clouds, the forecast tonight, Chance for a couple of flurries near the lake. 25 in the city for a low, 20 inland. Tomorrow, almost a repeat of today. Partly sunny, breezy, and chilly with a high of 36. Normal high 49. We make it into the 40s on Thursday. Even a chance for some rain showers on Friday. Over the weekend, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. So our weather definitely looks better than it has the past couple of days.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so you get criticized because you always seem to be flipping the TV channels, hogging the remote control. Many women say men do it all the time, so I do confess. Tonight, Mark Giangreco tracks down remote rats.
Not hard to track down this species, I'll tell you. There is no question that being a remote rat is definitely a guy thing, primarily because as men, we tend to have the attention span of a gnat, with an inherent need to keep flipping until we find a sporting event that'll hold our interest for that one fleeting moment. While some claim women were born to shop, no one will argue that men were born to click.
Like the caveman and his fire, modern man simply cannot live without his remote. In the early days, there wasn't much in the way of sports on television. Man had to settle for whatever he could get. But now,
All my ratty friends are back for Monday night.
with a sky full of satellites, your average Joe has over 500 channels at his fingertips.
Any particular style, any way you use that?
Well, you got to go to first, you go to Sports Channel, then you go to ESPN, then you go to all the networks. You make sure there's always a game on, and then you're happy.
We took our study of remotes on remote, asking man how he uses his clicker, and more importantly, how his channel changer has changed his relationship with women.
Now, what about if you have women involved? How do they figure in the mix?
Well, when guys are watching sporting events, man, we're watching TV. I mean, come on. Do you really consider what the women want to watch when you're watching the sporting event?
Obviously, you're not married.
Yeah, you got total control. The wife or the kids give you trouble, just hit the mute button. They're gone.
I've done it before where I pointed it at her. I said, turn off, go off, go off.
Under what circumstances would you relinquish the remote to your wife?
If I thought it was going to cause a major problem, or there's one instance when she starts imitating the way my face is when I'm watching TV, and then I give it up because I think that I'm getting a little carried away.
You're a wuss. Give me that remote, man. Under what circumstances would you relinquish that remote?
If I was dead.
But why are women from Venus and men channel surfing from Mars? Well, we decided to conduct a psychological experiment under controlled conditions. Take 4 lowly lab rats, sequester them in a suburban basement full of poisonous food on a normal Monday night of football.
This surfing has potential.
We've got nothing. There we go. We got football again. And he's going. Let's get him. Go.
For a more clinical explanation, we sought out noted behavioral specialist Dr. Lawrence Schneiderman.
You see, this is what I am talking about. If you look in past history, we have studied the monkeys in the Himalayas. They are very similar to the male species that we're watching on TV at this moment. Because remote, they look at the coconut for many times, many hours. But this is okay. This is very natural. And this is what we have seen with this tape right here.
Since this is your house, would you ever relinquish the remote, or
Well, because it's my house, I got to be driving. There may be some insurance liability things and everything else that goes with it, too.
Rich, you don't live here. I see you're using the remote. And look what happened. I think the lesson here is balance. Don't spend all weekend at home playing with your remote. What could happen?
Hey, guys, doing? Look, not enough room anymore. Why? Space it. We're all equally spaced. 2 on the couch is pushing. We are here because we like each other, but it goes no further than that.
And not that there's anything wrong with going further than that, but you see, if you don't have the remote, you have to follow etiquette. You have to know your place.
That's right.
Okay? All right. There's a lesson for you. All right. Coming up in sports. Yep, the good guys wear black, but guess what? The ones in the white won. Sports is next.
A breaking news story to report. A bad accident on a dangerous stretch of road on Chicago's South Side. 5 ambulances have rushed to the scene of a car crash on Interstate 57 at Halstead. Now, early reports say 11 people are injured. The stretch of road has been the site of several fatal crashes over the last year. We'll have more if it becomes available.
Mark, the Bulls ran into some trouble in Florida tonight.
I think the problem was Dennis Rodman was not wearing one of those new uniforms. The Bulls in Orlando tonight, unbeaten in this new season, wearing the new black unis with a new commitment to make amends and beat the Magic. It didn't work. There's Mike modeling the dark jerseys with the red pinstripes, and Shaq modeling his mom's blouse, I think. Bulls led by as many as 13. Tony Kukoc baseline slam. Tony wound up with 16. Jordan had 23 tonight. He ended the first half drilling a big three to put the Bulls up 48-45 at the break. But after a sloppy third period, the Bulls fell apart in the fourth. Scotty, who had 17, blows the reverse slam off the toaster out to Dennis Scott. 3D drains it. He had 16, and the Magic go up 77-69. Judd Buechler looked like he was going to bail him out. This three from the arc ties it at 83. But Penny Hardaway iced it with this one at the other end. Anthony with 36. The Bulls lose their first of the year, 94-88. Man. Well, as you probably know, Todd Sauerbrun's license plate reads hang time. That's something he'll have plenty of this week. Tomorrow, the Bears are going to sign Pat O'Neill to both punt and kick off against the Lions on Sunday. Hey, Hawks in Winnipeg tonight, down 2-0 early. They storm back. Second period, Dennis Savard on board. Over to Joe Murphy, and it's 2-1 Hawks. And then Gary Suter from ice level finds the big rookie Eric Daze, who's found the shooting touch, and suddenly we're tied at 2-2. And then later in the second period, on the power play, it's Kip Miller from the circle, off a jet to JR. Ronick scores. It was 4-3 late in the third. Winnipeg tied it with 14 seconds left, and then Shane Doan won it in overtime for the Jets. Hawks lose a heartbreaker, 5-4. Hey, big surprise. The big unit is the American League Cy Young winner. The Mariners' monster left-hander, Randy Johnson, 26-28 first-place votes, beating out Jose Mesa. The unit 18-2 with a 2.48 ERA and a league-leading 294 Ks.
It just shows that hard work and the determination that I've had all along and the support of, once again, of my teammates, good things do happen.
I guess. And in boxing, Tim Witherspoon in the white against the shoulder-tattooed Tim Puller. And Witherspoon tattoos him right here. Oh! I think he knocked a molar right out of his mouth for the TKO, and I think he got a little laughing gas to go with it. And that's sports.
A couple of stars jump right off the trunk.
I'm still a little busy. This watching hurt. Oh, my God.
Thanks, Mark. There's more to come tonight. In search of the perfect national Christmas tree.
We'll be right back.